This screencast is to help you submit scores for your clients in MyOutcomes. After you log in, you're brought to the main console. If you need help entering a client, then you can go to the Clinical Drive PCOMs folder and how to add new clients to MyOutcomes. It's also on this form here, which is this form here. They're the same thing. Sometimes if you type in PCOMs into your search bar, it'll pop up here. So if you are entering in a new client, then reference this guide. Once you have your client, if you click on the ORS here, this is more for if you are doing it live with the person. And if you would do that by sharing your screen or something like that. This isn't for reporting scores that you already have. To report scores that you already have from the main page, you would click on one of your clients over here, and then you would manually enter in using this. It'll pop up and say paper copy. It says take paper ORS. It has the little box around it. So you click on take paper ORS, and then you can manually enter in whatever the scores are for your person. Not 98, that it won't accept that too. So you also want to pick the date of the session where you got these PCOMs. If you forget, it's okay, you can fix it, and I'll show you how. So then you would click the check mark. I'm not going to click the check mark because I'm not actually reporting these scores, but if I did click the check mark, it would take me back to this page, and the ORS boxes would be, or buttons would be deactivated, and these SRS buttons would be activated. And then I would click the SRS with the little box around it, which is the paper copy. So I would enter in the SRS scores. You would do the same thing for the parent. If you have a parent that you're putting in the scores for, you would do the ORS first and SRS next. And if you need to edit something, for mom or something for the child, parent or child, guardian or child, you would say update past sessions. And in here, you would click something like edit score, and then you could edit anything or edit total. If it's just that you're editing the total, we are reporting all of the subcategories, so you would do edit score for all sessions, and then you have to click save after you update it. For all sessions except the first, you can change the date. So for the 2, 3, 4, and 5 sessions, you can change the date. The first session, you need to contact the clinical coordinator, clinical program manager, whatever the title is of the person who is your main support person. They are the person who has the access to MyOutcomes to change the date of the first session. So if you need to change the date of the first session, please contact them. When you are reporting your MyOutcomes information on the monthly reports, down here for client or ORS pre-score and family ORS pre-score. Pre-score is the first session. So on MyOutcomes, after you enter in the first session, you would hover over this first bullet point, and you can see all of the different numbers that come up. So these different numbers that come up, the one that you really care about is this one, the total ORS, not the subscales. We don't want the subscales. We want the total. The ORS total is the subscales added together, and this is the number that you want to report on your monthly summary for the client. And to get to it for the parent, you would have to click on the parent and then hover, and this one says 30.1. So those are the scores you report on the monthly summary. For the closing summary, you either report the 5th score if they came for 5 sessions, or you report whatever the last session was. So like for this family, if they didn't come for any more sessions, then the second PCOM score would be the post score. On here, it says PCOM's client total post score from 5th or final if before 5th session. If there's only one session, you leave it blank. So the pre-score is the first session. Post score is either the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th session, depending on if they come for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 sessions. The score that goes here, you would go to the hover over the last session here for the client. The post score would be 33.8. For this person, they came to the 5th session, so their ORS is 32.9. So for this person's closing stats, when I close their case, here is the 32.9. And then the mom's would be, the family member in this case, is 26.8. So that would go here for family ORS post score. Then you have to click something for reliable change or no change. You need to take the monthly reported pre-score. You can also get that from here. So it would be 30.1 compared to 26.8. So you could literally plug it into a calculator, and I can demo that right now. It was 30.1 minus 26.8. It doesn't matter if you do the bigger or smaller number first. That's a difference of 3.3. If it was negative 3.3, because let's say I started with the ending one and did 26.8, 26.8 minus whatever that was, 30.1, it'd be, the negative doesn't matter. It's 3.3, that's the part that matters. 3.3 is not at least 6. 3.3 is less than 6 of a difference, so I would say no change. That would be for, I think those are the scores for mom, so it would go over here. I would type in her last ORS score, and then I would pick no change as my assessment of her scores. And you do that the same thing for the client. So that is how you report scores from jot forms into the MyOutcomes for your client. That is how you put the pre-score and the post-score for the monthly stats summary and closing stats summary, and how you figure out if it's reliable change or no change for the PCOMs. I hope this was helpful.